Okay. So I was saying some of the members of our community, they were not quite sure about things. You at one time you see Commonwealth Scholarship, and that time you see
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, and then we're like, so should we expect like King Charles Commonwealth Scholarship? So there's confusion everywhere, and the question is always, are they the same scholarship body, just using different names
Yes.
to be more charitable? So I guess my question here is diving right into the question, diving right to the session, knowing fully well that you're a Commonwealth, you're a Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Shared Scholar. So can you give us a brief overview of what this scholarship is about?
All right. Thank you so much. As we know, that we have so many Commonwealth scholarships. And when people say Commonwealth scholarship, there are so many categories or there are so many types of the Commonwealth scholarship. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
So this Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, because we have Commonwealth Scholarship, we have Commonwealth Share Scholarship, and we have Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. And that Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is a 2 years master's program in the low-income countries, can be Asian countries and mostly African countries. It's not in UK, it's not in Europe, it's not in developed countries. It is within low-income Asian and African countries. And it is funded by the Association of Commonwealth Universities. That is the overview of the program. And the program is very okay in the sense that it is fully funded because they take care of your tuition fee if you are selected for the program. They take care of your flights to and fro. They take care of your arrival allowance. They take care of your research grants. They give grants on requests. Yeah, if you are done with your coursework and you're doing your research work and you need like maybe like grants, monetary aspect of the stuff, you can write to them. They do give about $5,000.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, for research grants. So that is it about the scholarship. But one thing is, I do get a call or a chat, or maybe like some people coming to my DM will talk, even on LinkedIn, telling me that I'm a previous awardee. This, how is the program? Some people, when I brief them, they will say, "Oh, so if it is within Africa, they don't like it. They want to travel to." Yes, they want to travel to abroad, they want to travel to UK, they want to travel to US, Canada, and the rest of them. And they'll be looking down on the offer. Yeah, even me, I don't know much about the program. And the first time I attempted it was the first time I got selected. Yes. And I submitted, there's so many things about the program. So let me start when I submitted. I got to know about the Commonwealth Shared, Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. That was in 2020. Yeah, during the COVID-19 period.
Pandemic,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, pandemic. So I don't know much about the program. So it was shared in a particular platform. So when I clicked, I went through it and I discovered that it involves essays. And I'm the type that normally shy away from essay writing. So I said, wow. So the 4 stages of essay, the development impact essay, the voluntary and the leadership essay aspects, which other aspects, the SDG goals and
Study plan.
yeah, study plan, yeah, and the
So it's
study
almost
plan.
the same to like the other Commonwealth scholarship there because it's like
Yeah,
similar kind of essay.
yeah, similar stuff. Yeah. So when I went through it, I said, oh, all the various essays, and I've not written, and I'm still learning how to write essays. So I told myself, I filled, created accounts, and I couldn't move on with it. I went for other application that involves only your CV and your SOP. So it was Later, people were selected, people on LinkedIn, people were maybe jubilating. I was selected as an awardee for Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth. I was like telling myself, wow, maybe the offer is not meant for me. Or actually, maybe what they are doing is actually different. You get. So when we moved into, that was 2021, I was awarded the I Scholar, one of the awardees or recipients of the I Scholar Initiative Scholarship. And my focus was in UX, and I was pursuing Erasmus Mundus. And at the long run, at the summer of everything, after the year application and everything was actually rejection, I got about 20 something rejection in all the applications I made. All the 5 schools are applied in UX, about 7 schools are applied in Europe. Everything was actually rejection. The love letter, as we know here in Nigeria. Yeah. So it was then 2022 when the application opened again, the first cycle, I gave it a try. I started the essay writing, though I was able to attend one webinar like this. I attended a particular webinar where they gave us the do's and the don'ts, and just they put us through the things we need to do for us to get selected. Then I made sure I followed the steps and what the webinar said. Then I did the essay. I was actually tutoring in one of the schools in my state. So the school is too it's always busy that we hardly get time for ourselves. So anytime I go home, I will write part of the essay towards the date of the deadline. I submitted 5 minutes before the deadline, and I was able to submit 2 schools. Yeah, I was able to submit for 2 schools. The which school? One university in Pakistan, and the Technical University of Nairobi in Kenya. So these are the 2 schools I submitted. The Technical University of Nairobi in Kenya submitted for MSc Physics. Then that school in Pakistan, I can't remember again the name. Should be University of Colombo. I can't remember vividly. Can't remember again. I submitted MSc Medical Physics. So that university in Pakistan placed me on the reserve. Then the University of the Technical University of Nairobi in Kenya, I was selected. So, and then I did not, I only submitted for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. I did not do because during the webinar, I discovered that there are so many things that involves, which I will tell people or the applicants or people trying to put up application, because then I don't know, just that I was favored by my university, because the admission was ongoing concurrently with the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. And I did not talk about the admission aspects. I only did the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, and I got selected. It was when I got selected, they started making demand for my admission letter. That was when I ran to the university portal, and I discovered that the university has not yet closed. Yeah. Ooh. So I have to put up my admission. Yes, even though one thing I discovered about most African universities is that the process of getting admission is always tough. Yeah, it's always tough. It's not something that is like UK. You can apply for admission in UK within a week to get an offer, even though there might be some conditions attached. So I followed the admission process, paid my application fee with the help of a friend and everything. I got admission. Yeah. So I have to submit the admission to the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth. Then that was when I started making preparation for my travel and all that. You get. So yeah. And there are so many stories why I'm still in Nigeria. There are so many stories why I couldn't travel again. There's so many stories. Yeah, I actually, because let me just still shipping before we go to, I don't know whether we are going to discuss the essay aspects and all that. But when I got selected, I was given my offer letter, the amounts I'll be paid monthly, my monthly stipend, and what the scholarship actually covers. It was clearly stated in the offer letter from the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship when they gave me the offer letter. Now, and the money there, the money will be in the current, it will be in local currency of the country you are studying. Yeah, because I'll be studying in Nairobi in Kenya. The money will be in the local currency, which is a shilling. Yeah, Kenyan shilling. So, and the way it is being calculated is that they're calculated in a way that it will take care of your everything, your living, yeah, your monthly stipend, your accommodation, and your living stipend, you get. So they made it in a way that if someone in Kenya is living maybe at the state, Nairobi is the capital of Kenya, and the cost of living is like this, the cost of living is like that, they made it in a way that they know, yeah, this is the amount of money will take care of you, your living and everything you get. And if you're the type that maybe you try to save up, if you have a family, you have younger brothers or younger sisters at home, you want to save and maybe you get to help them, because so many of us have dependents, you get. So they made it in a way that the money will take care of, even though if I'm studying in Kenya, somebody that is studying in South Africa, the cost of living in Kenya, the cost of living in South Africa might not be the same. So they calculate based on the livelihood of their particular country you're studying. Yeah. So the thing is, the scholarship is very, very okay. Just that some people, when they're here is in Africa, is how can I leave Nigeria and go to Kenya? How can I leave Nigeria and start traveling to South Africa? I start traveling to Uganda. Is it not the same Africa? So people look down on it. That's the reason why that the scholarship most of the time is less competitive. Yes. And some people, they will apply for both the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth and that of Commonwealth Share Scholarship. And at the end of everything, when Commonwealth Share Scholarship, they are being selected for that one, they will decline that of Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth, and people on the reserve will be upgraded to the main list. Yeah. So that is it. Yeah. Even I was able as well, because something came up after I finished my visa and everything they requested for me to travel, made the dates, my visa is supposed to travel on 30th of September last year. But due to some reasons, family issues and all that, I have to rise to them. Though I seek for people's advice at the group, because in the midst of scholars, previous awardees, I asked them to know that if I can be able to defer the program they offer, their admission and the scholarship. Some persons told me that it depends on my reason for deferment, because some persons defer the admission and the scholarship as a reason of this COVID pandemic restriction of traveling and all that during the very 2020. So it was a good reason and enough reason for them to grant that to them. But my own people were like saying that they've never seen where maybe as a result of a personal issue and all that. Then, but I came across a situation where they say maybe as a result of maybe like a health or family issue, they can grant, my university stated that the portal that they can grant a deferment for 6 months and at most a year. I have to write to them. I first wrote to Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth in UK, stated my reasons. That was the period that Queen Elizabeth died. Yeah, they were preparing for burial and all that. So they were actually on only a little on vacation because of the burial preparation. So after the whole thing, they granted me the offer, but the only thing that is that they have to communicate my host university, which is the Technical University of Nairobi in Kenya. They communicated them. So as they've already given me admission to know whether they are actually aware of my reasons for deferment. So the Mouse University told them that they have not heard anything from me. So that was when the manager, what is her name? My God, I've forgotten her name. The woman, the lady, they were two, Yumi and one other lady like that, and I communicated them. They helped me out. They actually told me what I need to do. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, all right. So I actually wrote to them, and they granted my offer, my deferment. But before that, they have to communicate my host university, which they told me they have to write to my host university that if my host university can grant that as well, to get that they don't have any problem, haven't heard my reason. So I wrote to my host university, the registrar, and copy to the director of my school at the Technical University of Nairobi. They looked at my reasons and they granted me the deferment for 1 year. So though the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, they told me that they can only grant that only for 1 year. Yeah, anything more than 1 year, it means you are like trying to decline the offer. It means that someone maybe on the reserve list can be upgraded to the main list. So that was how I was able to defer the program. Yeah, defer the program. So hopefully I'll be starting this July according to the deferment letter given to me by my host university. Though I might not actually go because there are some reasons behind that again. You know, when I was granted a deferment and another season of application came, I said, oh, there is no harm in trying. Since I've gotten a Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, let me still try like Commonwealth Share Scholarship. I said, yeah, let me give it a try. Since I've not tried the Commonwealth Share Scholarship because the essay is always too big. We have 11 essays in the Commonwealth Share Scholarship and 4 essays in the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, and both are still going in the same direction. So I decided to equally try the Commonwealth Share Scholarship this year. Submitted 8 applications in 8 universities in UK for 8 different programs. It was though I've not heard from the whole university, but at least I've heard from about 4. Which one of them is a University College London, which have rejected me. Then University of Stirling and University of Exeter placed me on reserve. Now, one of the universities that I placed my hope on, which is one of the 10 ranked university in the world, that is Imperial College London, was one of the universities that was ending of March this year. They communicated me through email that they want, according to the, after evaluating my essay and everything, that the Imperial College want to nominate me for the program, that they have to reply them if they should go on with the nomination. Wow, where am I to say no? So I replied them. Yeah, I replied them. Yeah. So hopefully I'm waiting for the whole process, the way it is being done. Though last 2 days I got Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was why actually I said that's likely. Even though I've not communicated the Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, likely I might not go on, because if Imperial College London can send me mail, they want to nominate me, who am I to reject? And 2 days ago, I got the last application I submitted for Erasmus Mundus. Yes, I was selected for the offer. The only thing they asked me is I should just try and get admission in one of the partnering universities in Germany. So likely, if it happens that both of them works out, that I might maybe make a choice among the lists I have.
A very long list you have over there. You started with an attempt to answer the questions when I said if the Commonwealth shared and this other one, they are the same. You said no. You gave one difference, which is that for the Commonwealth shared, you get to go to UK. So are there other differences between Commonwealth shared and this Queen Elizabeth scholarship for people that are listening to know? Are there other differences besides this one?
Yeah, yeah. Apart from that, Commonwealth shared is you are going to study in UK, and Queen Elizabeth is to study in low-income countries, mostly in Africa and in Asia. The Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Share Scholarship is a 2-year program, whereas the Commonwealth Share Scholarship is a 1-year program. Yeah, and the stipend they give, due to the fact that the rate of the livelihood in developed in abroad, like in UK and that of Africa, are not the same. The stipend are not equally the same. But aside that, there is not, because when I saw the letter from the Imperial College London, I discovered that there is something that I do not know before that is different, because there is another allowance that is equally attached for the Commonwealth Share Scholarship that is not in the Elizabeth Commonwealth Share Scholarship. So there are still other allowances that is not in that of Elizabeth Commonwealth, but is actually in Commonwealth Share Scholarship. Yes. So
Thanks for the clarification. Okay, another thing again is that, yeah, you were right when you said people will be expecting it to be okay, a scholarship in a Western country, and I was saying that
yeah.
it's in a low or middle income country. My question here is that, do you have an idea of what was the Commonwealth people, what were they thinking about when they made it to be so, for people to actually get a chance to study in low or middle income country? What was the rationale behind that decision?
Yeah, yeah. When the same question you asked, there was a time I pictured why not in developed country as well? Even though yes, everybody wants to study abroad, everybody wants to travel to UK, you want to travel to US, you get that. So, but since it's equally Commonwealth, why not UK and let the name maintain? Since it was named after Queen Elizabeth, then we have Commonwealth, which is equally in UK. We equally have Commonwealth shared, which is equally in UK. Then let us equally have Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth. Let it equally be in UK. But you know that they want to incorporate the African country. They want to, maybe the way I see it, they want to maybe to create a sense of belonging to so many African and low-income countries, like Africa and some low-income countries like Asia, to incorporate us into what they are doing. You get that? And when Queen Elizabeth died, because so many of us, the awardees, we wrote tributes. They sent us mail, we wrote tributes, and read some stories about Queen Elizabeth. We discovered there were so many things that happened. So even though the stories were like, people were like saying point negative aspect, people were like point the positive aspect. So from the stories I read, I discovered that the woman, Queen Elizabeth, whom the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Share Scholarship was named after, is trying to create a sense of belonging to so many Africans. You get that, haven't suffered so much during the war and all that. So yeah, yes. So that is the way I'm seeing it. They want to create a sense of belonging to Africans and to tell people from the low-income countries that yes, everything is not, maybe you must travel to abroad. This can still happen in your country. This can still happen in Kenya. This can still happen in Uganda. This can still happen in Ghana and the rest of them. You get, and in South Africa. So I think they are trying to create a sense of belonging to us, the low-income countries, the indigenes and the citizens of those countries.
That's a very wonderful rationale. Thank you for clearing that out. Also, something that is very catchy from what you just said, you kept saying one is 2 years, the other one is 1 year. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Why should Queen Elizabeth be 2 years and then Commonwealth should be 1 year? Usually, most masters program are 1 year, right? Just a very few are 2 years. So why are they making it 2 years for this one?
Yeah. The thing is, when you compare the country of study, you discover that most, like all the master's program in UK is always 1 year. Yeah. So, and you know, Elizabeth is in Africa, and like, let me just use Nigeria as a case study. You can't tell maybe someone from maybe in, let me say like Kenya, to come to Nigeria and do a one-year master. According to their curriculum, which is been approved by the NUC, that's 2 years, maximum of 2 years master, except if you have like any problem in your study, whether in your coursework or your research work, you might stay more than 2 years. So in UK, the maximum duration for master's program is 1 year, you get. So that of Africa is mostly 2 years. So that is the way, that is why it is, yeah. So if probably the program is being, maybe you travel to UK, I think they have made it 1 year as well, because Commonwealth Scholarship is a 1 year master's program in UK. Likewise, Commonwealth Share Scholarship is equally 1 year in UK.
Very much for answering that. So can we dive a little into the eligibility? That is the criteria for selection and all that. So what is the eligibility for this particular scholarship? Also bear in mind that I went through their website before the session and I noticed that there are some countries that one is allowed, like partner host countries, right? Not all African countries, apparently, not all Asian countries.
Yeah.
That'll be very few of them. So
Yes.
what is eligibility? Let's start from there. Is it the same thing with the
Okay.
Commonwealth shared?
Yeah. They are similar in the sense that yeah, they are similar. One, for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Share Scholarship, the eligibility criteria, one, you must be an African. You must be an African. You get, you must be an African, and not only African, if I may say, because since yeah, let me just say you must be an African, because most of the people I know that studied in like some universities in Malaysia, like University of Malaya, most of them are Africans. So one, you must be an African. I don't know for other countries, because I've never seen or be here or witness an Indian studying or being one of the awardees for the Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. So one, you must be an African. Two, in terms of you must be a graduate, hold a BSc, a BA degree, either first class, 2-1, probably 2-2. I don't know if there is maybe like a benchmark regarding the classification of a class of graduation. Yeah. So, but at least you must have a 2-1 and first class, and maybe 2-2. Yeah, depending on your class of graduation. That is number 2. The third eligibility is though it was not made compulsory there, then do request English proficiency. Even when I submitted, I see no reason why African will be requesting for English proficiency when we know that most of us, our official language is English. So why requesting for English proficiency? So though it was not made compulsory there, you get. So if you have one, you can submit, or if you have a letter of English proficiency from your home university, you can maybe equally submit to informing them that your 4 years or 5 years program, depending on university, you were taught the medium of instruction was actually English. Yeah. So that's then your recommendation. Get a recommendation letter, and the recommendation letter aspect is that during that period, since that was the first period, the first time I applied, I don't actually know whether my referees will be the one to submit my recommendation letters, or actually I'll be the one to maybe upload, as well as upload other documents. Then, so I have to make contacts on LinkedIn, chatted some previous awardees. Many of them replied that some people said my referees, some said the reason being that many of them, it has been a long time they were recipients of the program, of the scholarship. So some people said I will be the one to upload. So it was when I reached the stage of uploading the document, I saw provision for referee uploading. So I have to upload the recommendation letters from my referees, 2 recommendation letters from my referees. So and already they've given me the PDF copy of the recommendation letters after signing. So I uploaded. So these are the eligibility, and one, there is need for you to have your international passport. Though I don't know for every program, or maybe ID, but before traveling time, you must make sure you have your international passport because it's being required in the application process. And your transcript of records is one of the requirements. You must have a transcript from your university, well signed and stamped. So these are the ones I think I can remember.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess the reason why they will have for an English proficiency test is probably because several countries in Africa are actually francophone than anglophone.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So probably
Yeah,
that
you're
could be
right.
the reason why.
You're right. You're right.
Okay. Thank you for making the eligibility very clear. You mentioned four essays. Yes, one thing that makes people shy away from anything that has Commonwealth. What's just your Commonwealth? People just like to run away because of the essays. It's not funny at
Yes.
all. 11
Yeah.
essays is not a child's play. But yeah, you said
Yeah.
four rather than 11. Can you
Yeah.
clarify?
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth is for essays. Then Commonwealth Share Scholarship is 11 essays. Yeah. So the
So
11
what are the?
essays I made.
Can you
Yeah.
remember the essay questions? I know you listed
Yeah.
some few minutes ago.
Yeah. Let me check out the essay question.
Okay, while you are checking it, how about you address this question? You said you have never written any essay before. You attended the webinar, you heard some few tips, and then those tips
Yeah.
helped you to write the essay. So if you still have access to those tips, please let us know because some people still want to apply and get in. So what are the tips that you abide by that made you to be selected for the Nairobi for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship in Nairobi?
Well, the thing first I know what I did different that I made sure I followed the steps that previous awardees followed based on the webinar and based on the discussion during the webinar. I made sure I followed. Then what I did different is that one thing and the most thing I discovered about the very whole process about getting selected for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Share Scholarship is Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is that when your essay is outstanding, no matter what, you must get selected. And that is one thing I discovered because the way I do things is that if I get selected for a particular program, I do revisit my essays or the document I submitted to note what actually did I do different compared to other programs I've been applying, like the recent offers I got. I visited those essays. I said, wow, maybe I did something different, maybe something outstanding to the reviewers of this very document or to this essays you get. So because there are some program when you apply, automatically the rejection, because it's not two ways program. There's no two ways about it. You get rejection or love letter. Yeah, but when you do something outstanding, they know you are ideal candidates. You are the candidate they are looking for a particular program. You get that. So, and that will speak, that's when your essay speak well, your document as well, speak well. So these are the things. Well, what I know I did is that the essay I did the thorough research on those 4 stages of the essay writing for the Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. I did a thorough research. I don't just go to maybe Google and maybe or the university and start maybe copying what I see in the university. No, I visited so many things. I read so many things about Nairobi. I read so many things about the Technical University of Kenya. You get so I read so many, even the alumni, the blog, so many stories. I went there and to get information, even the previous scholars. I visit the university portal, visit my department, my department, visit the alumni, visit the previous scholars, the reviews they made about the university. So if they made a positive review, I will pick it. Oh, So this thing is actually happening in this particular university or this particular school. Oh, I'll pick it and attach it, or maybe more, maybe like rephrase it. You get that? So that maybe there will be no trace of whatever you picked or delivery plagiarism and all that. So to make my essay outstanding, maybe if the person said maybe good, I can use another word that still talk about good, about the university. So these are the ways I went about, and that was why it took me a lot of time, but I made sure that my essay was outstanding. And the stories, the whole thing I said about the essay, each of the stages of the 4 essays, the thing that when somebody that is reviewing the essay will know, oh, this person, how did the applicant know so much about our school, know so much about our country, know so much about our culture and everything. So in summary, yes, I can say that my essay still played a very good role, even though I'm a first-class graduate. But I think everything is not all about holding a first-class degree, because I've applied for so many Erasmus since 2021 to date that I might maybe end up at the interview stage or the reserve list, whereas somebody that had to will be selected. So it means that the 2-1 applicants did something different that I first class or first class graduate didn't do. So it's not all about maybe a class of degree, maybe you have first class. No, even a 2-2 can still get off. I've seen a situation where somebody with HND got a PhD offer in UX. So it's not about class of degree.
Thank you very much. That is great. So viewers out there, if you have listened today about the essays, go and do research. Thank you. Do research, a lot of them, about the country, about the school and everything. You know, the competition is always tough. Like, it's getting tougher, by the way. Because the number of those that are applying from Nigeria some years back, I know there's a number of people that are applying right now with the whole country situation and everything. So it's getting tough. I guess my next question is what are the, because you kept saying something about, oh, because it's, the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship is in Africa, people used to underestimate it and all that. And then so I was just saying, what are the benefits of this scholarship? What makes it, even if it's in Africa or in low or middle income country, it's still something worthwhile for a person to give a shot at?
Yeah. Oh, there are so many enormous benefits of this Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. One, they will take care of your livelihood for 2 years. You don't pay tuition fee. You don't pay your flight to and fro. If you reach your host country and your host university, you'll be paid an arrival allowance. The allowance may like the allowance is for you if like somebody that you don't have like a laptop, you can use the money and get one for yourself. If you already have one, for you to add it to maybe as this is your new country, maybe if you don't have like, yes, as somebody that maybe enter a new country, new environment, need to adjust, to adapt and that kind of stuff. So you need the money to maybe to do 1 or 2 things. The stipend is there for you. Your insurance, maybe your medical stuff, maybe because your medical, yes, you don't pay for any of these things. Like my own case, the university hospital clinic will take care of my well-being throughout the 2 years, except otherwise, maybe if there is a critical issue that maybe they don't have, they will not have to solve it for me. Okay. So plus your research grants. So apart from the very monetary aspects, your tuition and everything, you are not paying a dime. You travel to a country you've not been before, get a new knowledge, make friends, get exposure, network with friends, network with people in your class and the rest of them. So there's so many benefits. Now, one thing I do tell people about Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Commonwealth Scholarship is Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is this. It is not, it mustn't be in Europe, it mustn't be in Canada, it mustn't be in US, it mustn't be in UK. Everybody in life starts somewhere. I've seen people that started with Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, and today they can be found in US, can be found in Canada. I know of one of the awardee that traveled with 2 of us on the same platform. He got, after the program, he came back to Nigeria. He's a lecturer in the University of Lokoja. he got an offer in Canada. So tell me, if not because of Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, because he started somewhere, yeah. So from Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth to a scholar in Canada. And one thing about all the very countries like Canada is that depending on your years of stay there and become a citizen of the country. So tell me what, if for instance he has not gotten a master's degree through the assistance and help of the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, he couldn't have gotten that offer. Perhaps maybe he would have gotten, but the stories would have changed because now the program led him to get publications. He got exposure. He left his initial level stage, yes, from BSc to masters, yes. So so there are so many benefits. Just that there's so many Africans and so many Nigerians. Even yesterday, I know 2 days ago, I spoke with a friend that I was telling to I encouraged him. Two of us, the guys did the same program with me. So through this scholarship, we became friends, we met through LinkedIn and all that. So I do tell him, the only thing is that he would tell me, oh, imagine studying in Africa. What if there is a funding available for you here in Nigeria? Wouldn't you tell me that if, apart from the very issue of the ASU strike and all that, and maybe a 2 years master's program is actually 2 years here in Nigeria, wouldn't he travel? Wouldn't he study the program here in this country, Nigeria? I know he would have done. So imagine someone paying you about $600 to $700 every month. Yeah, that is the stipend, depending, you get that, on your host country and your host university. So somebody giving you about $700, $600 plus dollars every month as a monthly. When you do the conversion, the local currency, is a big money, because people that travel to US, I've seen people getting off maybe like I know of someone that said his monthly stipend is $1,000. The difference is not much, and that is in US. This is in Africa. You get. So there are so many benefits of being a Commonwealth scholar. You get that. Commonwealth is Commonwealth, even though it is named after Queen Elizabeth. So you're already a Commonwealth scholar. There are so many benefits.
Very much for stating that. I think that's actually one of the most important benefits here. The fact that the Commonwealth is attached to it. So whatever applications you want to make in your lifetime, but the fact that you have Commonwealth scholar attached to your CV or your personal statement, it makes you stand out. Thank you very much for making that clear. I hope for those listening that you will be encouraged through this story to go ahead and submit your applications. Okay. Also, there are several universities, like we said, on the portal, different countries. What are the criteria for choosing those universities? What criteria did you use in choosing Nairobi and the university that you said is in Pakistan? So what is your advice to people?
The thing is, it depends on your course of study. It depends on your course of study, because Commonwealth, Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship has 2 cycles. First cycle, which the deadline is always January 15, and second cycle, which is always April to May, which is the second cycle is ongoing now, which will end on May 24th. Now, and the way they have to that is the way they have number of universities, more number of universities. The second cycle, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now.
So what I did when I went through the whole the portal for the Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship, I went to the universities one after the other, checking the programs to know whether my program, which is physics, is actually there. Then I discovered that some universities have my program, but when I check the requirements in those universities, because when I check maybe like University of there's one university of Malaya in Malaysia. I checked the university. I checked. I know that they are doing my courses. My course is there. Now, I checked the admission requirements to know whether not just getting selected, will I still get the admission in that university? Okay. So these are the things I did. So I discovered that the requirements, even though I did not go deep for that of a technical university of Nairobi, Kenya, because I discovered that during the admission application, there are so many processes that are involved, which some of the processes it might not be stated clearly there. Some processes started coming out when I already paid my application fee and I've submitted. So many things start coming out. You get that, like trying to certify my documents to go to notary public, get a lawyer or not that, get them certified. You get that. So these things, it was not actually stated in the admission. It was when I was already on the process, I got to note about all these things. Okay. So the thing I did, I checked my program, how many universities have been my program. I listed the university and my program and the requirement for all of them, and probably the deadline for all the universities. Yeah. Then depending on the time frame, how many applications do I need to put? Because since I applied for MSc Physics at the Technical University of Nairobi, and I applied for MSc Medical Physics at the one university in Pakistan, the whole essay will not be the same, because you cannot say physics and medical physics. This is in health. This is not. This is really in physical science. You get that. So do I have the strength to write essays, numerous of essays? Since the program are entirely different, do I have the experience in medical physics? Maybe like a training that maybe when telling my stories, I'll be linking that and my exposure and maybe the things I've done in the past. Do I have them? So these are the things I did. So after making the list, I made the list, I compared. I said, let me start with the ones I can handle before I'll move to the ones I know it might be tougher for me.
Thank you very much. That's a very good story that you have over there. Also, okay, so with your, I believe I don't want to really necessarily want to move into the post-application process. You mentioned a lot at the beginning when you talked about deferring and all that. Just so we are clear, you're probably the first scholar that I've heard that have deferred his admission for almost a year. I've never heard it before. You know how to like this work. You never know something is possible until you actually attempt to do it. So, but does that say can it still apply for a Commonwealth Share Scholar? Can somebody like defer the admission for 1 year? Do you think it will be practicable?
That if someone that deferred admission can still apply?
No, let's say for instance now, you got, okay, the Imperial College London finally selected you, everything is completed and everything, and so you decided to defer your admission like you did with Nairobi. Would they permit you? I just want to know if it's not just African centric, if it also applies to UK schools.
Well, because when they granted me the deferment for 1 year, I mean, the Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship body, it was stated that they cannot grant after the 1 year. It means that is the end for anything like give reason, give excuse. It means there's need for me to start my program. Likewise, the university the probability that the university might grant me deferment again, but it might not work out. But when my sponsor couldn't grant, it means that there is a probability that I might I might not be granted the offer. Yes, for another deferment. Since they've granted that to me for 1 year, I doubt they will still grant me another deferment for me to still keep the offer. Since they have people at the waiting list, people are waiting for them to be upgraded. So there is a high chances for me to make it open. Yeah, why would I be keeping it when someone is in need of it? So we grow by lifting others. So it's better I tell them openly, that, yeah, please, because of this is and the other, I might not move on with them. So that someone else will be upgraded, someone will take over the program or the stuff.
Thank you very much, Dave. This is wonderful.